All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever thought about what would happen if we could totally supercharge the way communities work together? I'm talking about giving every single local movement, every volunteer group, the power to organize and grow with complete transparency. Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
I mean, just think about it for a sec. Grassroots movements, local nonprofits, they're really the lifeblood of so many places, right? These are the folks on the ground, tackling the tough issues, serving people who often get overlooked. The energy they bring, it's just massive.
But, okay, let's be real. Behind all that passion, it's often kind of chaotic. The actual day-to-day of running these groups, it can be messy, super inefficient, and, just plain frustrating for the very people trying to do all the good work. And these problems usually boil down to a few things. First off, you've got power stuck at the top, with just a few people making all the calls. Then there's the money. It's a constant headache, right? Trying to patch together grants is unstable and takes up so much time. And the result? Decisions are slow, they're all over the place, and volunteers end up feeling like their voices just don't matter. So, this really brings up the big question. We use amazing tech for pretty much everything else in our lives. So, what if we could use it for this? What if there was a tool built from the ground up to fix these exact problems of governance, funding, and transparency?
Well, this is where this idea of a DAO enters the picture. A DAO, it stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which sounds complicated, I know. But think of it like this. It's a digital community with a shared bank account. The cool part is, the rules for how to spend that money are literally written into the code, and everybody in the group gets a say in the decisions. So how does this whole thing actually work? It really boils down to three key ideas. First, you've got decentralized governance. That just means no single boss. Power is spread out among all the members. Second is transparency by design. Everything, every dollar spent, every vote cast, is on a public record for anyone to see, no secrets. And third, there's smart contract automation. The rules are enforced by the code itself automatically. You don't need a middleman, which builds a ton of trust.
And get this isn't some far-off tech fantasy. We're talking about thousands of these DAOs already active right now, managing billions of dollars. But what's really wild is that the vast majority of them, over 60%, are what we call community DAOs. They're already doing the exact kind of work we're talking about, social projects, collective action. It's happening.
Okay, but here's the catch. There's a big but here. This amazing technology, which sounds like it was made for community organizers, has a giant wall around it. The tools that exist today, they're super complex, full of confusing jargon, and honestly, they're built for developers and crypto experts, not for the average person trying to organize a neighborhood cleanup.
And this image really says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you have this crazy technical setup of a typical DAO, and on the other, you've got the actual people on the ground, the community leaders, the volunteers, who just need something that works, something simple. It's like two different worlds, and there's a huge gap between them.
And this is exactly where SUDAO comes in. It's the solution built to fix this exact problem. It's a platform designed to be a totally no-code solution. Its whole mission is to bridge that gap and put the power of DAOs into the hands of everyone, no tech skills required.
So you might be wondering, where does SUDAO fit in with what's already out there? Well, if you look at a tool like Aragon, it's super powerful and transparent, on-chain as they say, but it's way too complicated for most people. Then you have something like Open Collective, which is easy to use, but the community doesn't actually hold its own funds. SUDAO, it just hits that perfect sweet spot. It's easy enough for anyone to use, but you still get that true blockchain transparency and control.
Okay, so how does SUDAO actually pull this off? How did they make something so complex feel so simple? Let's take a look under the hood at some of its key features.
First, and this is the big one, you don't need to be a programmer at all. The platform literally walks you through the process step by step. You can launch a real, fully functional DAO with its own bank account and voting system in like minutes. It's that easy.
Next, there's customization, because let's face it, every community is different. SUDAO has this plugin system that works kind of like the App Store for your phone. You can just add the specific features you need for your group. It makes the whole thing incredibly flexible.
And here's the control panel for your entire operation. The Creator Dashboard is where you manage everything. It's this super clean, intuitive space where you can see proposals, track votes, manage your members, and keep an eye on your money. It's all right there in one place.
Okay, so let's zoom out. Why does any of this really matter? What's the bigger picture here? I mean, what actually happens when you take these incredibly powerful tools away from just the tech experts and give them to millions of community builders all over the globe?
The potential here is, well, it's just staggering. If you just look at Southeast Asia alone, you're talking about more than 6 million potential communities. That's everything from creative groups to local volunteer projects. 6 million groups that could use a better way to organize themselves and make decisions together.
And look, this isn't just a dream. SUDAO is already making this happen. They've already launched their platform, rolled out the dashboard, they're hitting their milestones. And their roadmap for the future is even more exciting. They're building out that plugin system, and this is a huge one. They're planning to integrate regular money, dollars and euros, to make it even simpler for absolutely anyone to join in.
Which kind of brings us to the final big question. If you make it this easy for people to organize transparently and own their own projects, could this unleash a whole new wave of collective action? Is this the toolkit the next generation is going to use to actually change the world? It's a pretty powerful idea to think about.